have so many icks about you, but I don't want to just
You have
dig
a lot.
into you right
You have
now.
a lot.
I want to be nice.
Name like 2 other ones.
When you spit in the sink and you don't rinse it out.
I do that to clear my throat.
Matt, why would you
I
spit
get a lot
in
of
the sink and not rinse it out?
I do rinse it out. My brothers don't rinse it out, and I think that's super disgusting. And they
So
also
you're
don't
telling
lift
me
the
your
lid when they
brothers are
pee.
coming to
My
our-
brothers also don't lift the lid when they pee, and I think that's disgusting.
Okay, well, you lift.
If you're a
you
man,
leave it lifted, and
well,
I almost
no,
fall in the toilet sometimes.
No, I've gotten better about that.
It's just a hazard in my own house.
Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today's going to be a little bit different of a video. I'm going to do more of a reaction style video to a couple that has a channel here on YouTube, and the channel name is Matt and Abby. They have been in the news lately because the husband made some TikTok about taking care or babysitting their children while she went to the gym. I'm not going to react to that one because that's like everywhere if you want to look at that one. I want to play the clip that most people know them from, and then we'll get started with the crazy stuff.
Matt, holy crap.
It's gonna be alright, honey.
It's just getting darker.
It's gonna be okay.
I'm pregnant.
That's a good thing. It's
Matt, are you
okay.
happy?
Yes, of course.
Okay, but 5 months old.
I know. I know, that's definitely not, that wasn't the plan.
I thought for sure that was not going to be positive.
Yeah.
I had a beer,
It's gonna be alright.
and I went on all those rides.
You didn't know.
I don't even believe that. Like, I feel like that's wrong. I wasn't ready. I feel like I'm not... I know this is going to be okay, but I just think that this was not my plan at all. Oh my god.
Okay, so that's the video that I feel like most people would recognize them from. I actually had seen this video when it was out, and I didn't really think anything of it. I think I liked it, and then I just moved on. But after the controversy of them, and I watched a few videos of people reacting to them, I decided to like dig through their TikTok and their podcast TikTok, and he's gross. Let's just like throw that out there. He's gross. He's not a very good guy, I don't think. So the next clip is she recently had a kid, and they spent 2 days in the hospital. She had him C-section, and Matt claims in a podcast clip TikTok that he did not speak to her for 2 days. For 48 hours, he did not speak to her. So now I'm going to play you a clip that they also put on their main page. And yeah.
We didn't have the best time at the hospital. My wife was ready to leave the same day she gave birth, but the hospital staff said that the minimum stay for a C-section was 48 hours. It put our marriage to the test. It wasn't the hospital staff. They were great. We were just sleep deprived, and my wife was dealing with the intense hormone change that happens postpartum. But worst of all, there was breastfeeding, which really caused us to butt heads. It was really important to my wife that she breastfed our baby, but it was really important to me that our baby got fed. There were long stretches of time where my wife tried super hard to breastfeed, but her milk hadn't come in yet, and our baby refused to latch. He would scream and cry, and the tension in the room got extremely elevated. I offered to give our baby formula until my wife's milk came in, but she saw this as a direct attack. My wife was doing what she thought was best for our baby, and so was I. We were on the same team and didn't even know it. I did my best to pack up our stuff as quickly as possible. I was ready to get home because I hadn't showered in 2 days and wanted to sleep in my own bed. I didn't even use most of the items that I brought with me. As I left, I forgot our car was parked super far away, so I ended up ditching our stuff and running to our car to move it up closer. We got our baby safely secured in his car seat, and then we made our way home where our family was waiting to surprise us.
This clip makes me honestly want to cry because just after knowing that he did not talk to her this entire time that he's there, and he says this, he like says it in a clip that I wasn't able to save it, but he says it like because she brings it up. She's like, oh, you didn't talk to me for 2 days while I was in the hospital. And he's like, yeah, I think it was a solid 48 hours that I didn't talk to you because he was suffering from postpartum depression is what he was saying. Or the baby blues or whatever. And she's like, I can't, just, you didn't talk to me. And they're like butting heads on her breastfeeding and stuff, which is a whole nother thing. I think that he should have been supportive of that if that's what she wanted to do. And a nurse would intervene if the baby wasn't getting enough food. I mean, that's how they did it for me. I breastfed my son, and my milk didn't come in on time, like right at the time that he was born, and his first like meal was formula because he hadn't eaten since he came out of me. So like obviously they were like, he has to eat. So I feel like a nurse would have intervened, a doctor would have intervened if that was really the case. And she would have taken that advice. I don't think that he realizes that babies don't really need like a lot of food. So when they're first born. And maybe he doesn't know that, but I don't know. And then at the end here, after not talking to her for 2 days, he throws her a surprise party. And I do believe that they live with their parents, or her parents, but this is like their siblings, and his siblings and his parents and his grandparents, they all come to this right after she gives birth, and he doesn't talk to her for 2 days. He throws her a party and makes himself look really good in this video here, because she seems happy. It's just, she puts on this face of I'm happy all the time, and I feel like deep down she's just not, because who's happy when their husband doesn't talk to them for 2 days after they just gave birth? Literally the whole time you're in the hospital. He says he didn't say one word to her. It's just disgusting. It really is. I don't know. Okay, so this next clip that I'm going to play is them talking about the fight in marriage counseling. So let's just play it and I'll talk about it.
In therapy, we were on the same page, but then as soon as I looked at houses, you were like, no, this is not what we talked about. And I'm like, nope, that's actually not true.
Well,
You're
didn't-
gaslighting me.
okay.
Let's ask Karen.
Her name's Karen?
Yes, it's Karen.
Okay.
Karen thought that we graduated from marriage counseling, and then look, we'll come back to her with another whammy. We had another fight about the house.
Well, what's funny, I think with marriage
Just
counseling is
kidding.
you bring up all your beef in the counseling session, because then it's like a safe place to talk about it all.
Yeah, that's true.
Karen's just there to keep the peace. And she's like, Abby, how do you feel? Matt, how do you feel?
So maybe we'll just have to take this back to counseling
Yeah.
to revisit it.
Okay.
Just unpack it. Like, Matt, what scares you about selling the house? Yes, I know you're talking about finances, but really, I think it's more of a control thing.
It's not a control thing.
I'm just kidding.
I think for me, like most people don't buy a house and then 2 years later move. Most
The
people.
fact that you say this is like so agitating because you don't do anything like most people, Matt Howard.
Where's Karen when you need her? Karen?
No, I'm not mad
Maybe
at
Karen
you.
could be our safe word. Like if a
What's that? They're talking about selling the house and he doesn't want to. And she does. That's basically what they go to marriage counseling for, it seems like. And he's like, it's not a control thing. And then I think the fact that she brings it up that way, that it is, or she believes that it is, but I don't know. I can't say here or there on that, but I would say it is a control thing. And the fact that he didn't even know their marriage counseling, like, counselor's name kind of throws me off. Like, you would think you would know her name. But, okay. But she says that. She says she wants to move and stuff and sell the house, and he doesn't want to. So in this next clip, remember that she says that.
Are we moving to Nashville?
Are we?
I feel like it'd be fun for the summertime.
It would be fun. I'm inspired by the people in Nashville.
I love the southern hospitality.
I thought people were nice in Phoenix. They're actually rude compared to Nashville.
I've been in Nashville pretty much every month for the past like 4 months recording music. And then we've had quite a few podcast guests in Nashville. So we're always in Nashville.
There's creativity flowing in Nashville.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun. It's also less hot than Phoenix. So yeah, sure, let's do it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because like Phoenix gets so freaking hot in the summer. It's like 120 every day. You cannot take your kids outside. I think Nashville might be the spot.
There's so much to unpack in this little clip here. One, he didn't want to move. He didn't want to sell the house so bad that they had to go to marriage counseling about it. Two, he's willing to move now because it benefits him. Because he writes music and he wants to play his music and record, and it benefits him to be in Nashville. I don't know. Like, Okay, whatever. But she's very supportive of this. She's like, oh, there's creativity flowing. He writes music. I forgot to mention that he is a musician. He wrote a song and he showed it to his wife on a TikTok about how depressed he is and how his family is not enough. She is not enough. The kids are not enough. What he has is not enough. He wants more, and he feels like he had to put his priorities and his career goals on hold to be with her and their kids. Even though that's doesn't seem to be the case, because he's willing to pick up their whole family and move to Nashville for him. She's willing to do that, I mean. She's willing to pick up and leave. They're leaving Phoenix. They're moving across the country. And just to please him. Just to be where he is. And where he wants to be. I just can't with this guy. I don't know. I know in one of the podcasts she says divorce is not an option, but it should be for them. Or they need to be better at marriage counseling. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that they're not saying because I don't know. His music is he's depressed because his wife isn't doing enough. His wife isn't good enough. He wants more from something. And in one of them, she's talking about how, do you think other women are hot? And he's like, of course. She's like, do you look at him? And he's like, of course. Only for 2 seconds, though. And she's like, oh, it's 2 seconds too long. But she's, obviously hurt by that. I know she asked, but it's like she's obviously hurt. So that's them fighting in marriage counseling and then turn around and want to move immediately. I think that he only does that because it wants to benefit. It benefits him. So, here's another one about their marriage counseling that I just wanted to play because it just gives me the ick. So.
We officially started marriage counseling. It's happening. We do a weekly session. It's all virtual, all online. I wish we would have started it sooner. I've heard people out there say oh, we never fight. I think you're lying if you say that, first of all. But also people have different definitions of what a fight means.
Yeah.
When I say fight, I mean verbally, get heated. So maybe someone yells, you know, that has happened to us before. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, twice. I don't care how perfect your marriage is. I think you could benefit from counseling because there's things that will get on your nerves about your partner. It's going to happen.
You don't have to be close to divorce to start counseling.
No. Think about the counselor as a mediator. So say you had a conflict arise, which every marriage does, and then you walk through it and you talk about it, and it's a safe place.
Well, it's also a really good thing because we know that it's coming. So if there's something we're not seeing eye to eye on, we can just put a button in it before it escalates at all. Honestly, it's okay, I don't feel like we're agreeing on this. Let's just put a button here and then talk about it at our counseling session because it's tomorrow or something like that. Yeah. And it really just is a way to not just not pacify it, but just know that, hey, we can sort this out in a calm way and in a safe way soon.
Thing, I think that's, I don't know, maybe I'm just coming from a different place, but I don't think I'd ever start a fight with my husband and be we can take it to counseling tomorrow. We can just go to counseling tomorrow because it's not safe here to talk to you. It's not a calm space to talk to you. I cannot talk to you calmly, and you can't talk to me calmly. Your marriage should be the safest place for you to talk calmly and have conversations about what the other person's doing that annoys you. You shouldn't have to go to marriage counseling every single time you have a problem, I guess, in my head. So I want to do 2 more clips, and they kind of go back to back, hand in hand here. So I just want to show the first one, and we'll talk about it a little bit.
We've decided as a family that we are not celebrating Father's Day this year.
Father's Day, it's always in June, and it's like always around.
Last year was June 18th, which is Matt's birthday. So
yes.
he had Father's Day and his birthday on the same day. And
so sad.
I will say I did kind of combine the holidays.
You did combine the two of them. It's okay, though. I mean, you were pregnant. You were uncomfortable. You were close.
We just gotten back from our baby moon that day. I got you a cake from DQ.
I guess we had just gotten home.
And had our family over and grilled.
Well, I grilled, but I know a lot of dads grill on their birthday. Yeah. But yeah, we had Father's Day.
And I grew your child.
You did grow my child.
All day, every day.
But like Father's Day and my birthday were the same exact day.
Yeah,
and it kind of was a bummer.
I'm going to be honest with you, I failed you. I'm so sorry.
But you know what? This year, we're boycotting Father's Day for the month of June and celebrating it 3 months after my birthday.
Okay. It's so sad he had to grill on his birthday. Okay, so they're like boycotting Father's Day this weekend because it was on his birthday last year and it really bummed him out. So he doesn't want to do that. And I can't believe he had to grill on his birthday. It's just ridiculous. Like, what? I can't. She went on vacation. She's pregnant. And he has to grill on his birthday. Like, can you believe it? Can you believe it? I guess I can't believe it. And then she's like, oh, I failed you. And he doesn't even say anything. He's like, yeah, you did. I had to grill on my birthday. Not only did you plan a whole party, get me a cake, get home from a baby moon, whatever that is. What is that, like a honeymoon, but when you have a baby, I think. And then, I don't know. And then he had to grill. So sad. So sad. So here's the last clip that I think I can handle for right now because he makes me angry. So let's watch it. This is the newest clip. So let's just watch this.
Holy frick! Oh my gosh!
Oh my!
Are these cake pops? This is like way too over the top. This is so
This
nice.
is the best Father's Day ever!
It says best dad ever.
Why is that funny to you?
You know why it's funny.
You are the best dad ever.
Funny. You think I'm the best dad ever?
Yeah, wait, why is it funny?
Well, I said the thing about not celebrating Father's Day. I don't know if you're trolling me right now. I don't know what's going on.
And he's like, I don't know if you're trolling me. You can see it in his face. He's like actually upset. Like, and his laugh where he's like, that's ridiculous. Like, he's laughing that hard at, like, best dad ever. She didn't want to skip Father's Day because it means something to her, obviously. And, yeah. He's like, are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? He's, like, obviously upset. He looks like he's, like, gonna cry. Or, like, yell at her as soon as that camera goes off. Like, as soon as this goes off, he's yelling at her. I can guarantee that. It's ridiculous. It's so disturbing. And their relationship, their whole relationship is toxic. The whole thing is toxic. And I think it paints a little bit of a not great picture for people that are young and are just now getting married and are like, oh, that's my favorite YouTube channel, Matt and Abby. Or they're looking for couples channels like Matt and Abby. And they, on their YouTube channel, paint this like picture of their perfect marriage and they're perfectly happy all of the time, and then they put this out and they're like, actually we fight all the time, actually we're not happy, actually he does all these things that drive me nuts and I hate it. But I'm not gonna say that. I don't know, I just think it's really I don't like it. I hope that she ends up seeing that at some point in her life. Maybe she won't, maybe she will. She seems too good for him. She seems genuinely in love with him. I was watching a clip where she's literally talking about how much she loves him, and she's crying, and he's upset that she's crying. He's like, you said you weren't gonna cry on the podcast this time. You said you weren't gonna cry. And the whole time he's just like, yeah, I could see that. Like, he's He just seems bored, and she's literally bawling her eyes out, talking about how much she loves him, how much she's always loved him. It just breaks my heart. And I hope that she comes to her senses at some point. But I just think this whole toxic relationship stuff needs to be not on the internet. And I don't know. I guess that's my 2 cents about it. So I'll see you in the next one.
I fell in love with you as a kid. Like, you were literally 17.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with you as a young adult, like leaving college. And I love that version of Matt now. And now I'm falling in love with you as a dad. And it's like, I've seen you in so many different stages. And I think that's so beautiful. And it's only been 4.5 years of marriage. And it's like, how much more do I get to see you grow and change and evolve?
Yeah.
And love that version of you? Like, hopefully 50 plus more, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's like really, really, really cool. And that's like a beautiful thing about marriage.
You literally just said you were like, I'm not crying. I'm not crying anymore.
Saying it made the tears come.
And like, boom, crying.
But I'm just saying, I think that's like a really...
It's so predictable who we marry. You're going to college? Oh, you're going to meet your spouse in college. Okay, you meet them in college, and you'll meet your spouse at your job. Isn't that weird how simple it is?
We're meeting on dating apps now.
True, but it's weird how it works. We're sold this idea of how relationships are built in movies, and it's just not that way at all in the real world.
I think it's pretty romantic that we met doing Mary Poppins.
We were 12.
You were a unitard.
Okay.